Good Yontif, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank everyone who came out to be a part of our simcha for the bris of our son, Moshe Eliezer, as well as everyone who couldn't be here. We know you were here with us in spirit. I also want to thank the Rebbeinu Shalom, the creator of the world, for giving me such a wonderful family. 2 beautiful, sweet girls, and now a son to go along with them. I want to thank my amazing and also beautiful wife, my partner in life, for everything she does for me, for us. And I do mean everything. Without her, left under my guidance, our family would surely perish, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, within a matter of days. So thank you. And of course, I want to thank my parents and my wife's parents for the endless love and support we receive on a daily basis. Sometimes a few times a day even, sometimes maybe even a few times an hour. In any case, thank you. Without you, we would literally not be here. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank little Moshe Eliezer, who went on Mesiras Nefesh to receive his bris, to enter into the bris of Avram Avinu, and who brought us all together today. Today is obviously a very special day, and a special time for a number of reasons. Today is the Yortzeit of the Heilige Mezritcher Magid, the primary disciple of the Baal Shem Tov and the Rebbe of the Chevra Kadisha, including but not limited to the Alter Rebbe, the Rebbe Elimelech, the Barditchever, Rav Aaron Gadol of Karlin, the Chernobyler. Today is the Yortzeit of a true Hasidic giant, a general of generals. Secondly, on a personal level, the day when a family or a father makes a bris is considered a yontif for those involved with the bris, for all those involved with the bris. The simcha of welcoming a new soul into the covenant of Avram Avinu is so great that it's considered a yontif. And thirdly, today is Yud-Tes Kislev, a day considered by many Hasidim, especially Chabad Hasidim, to be the Rosh Hashanah of Hasidus. So what is Rosh Hashanah? Rosh Hashanah is the birthday of the world. Not the first day of creation, but the day of the creation of Adam Arishan, of man. This is because man has a unique role. His role is to cultivate the world and bring it to fulfill its purpose. The purpose of creation is to make this place into a dwelling place for Hashem, to make a dir v'tachtonim, and to reveal godliness in the world. This can only be done by man. It is brought down that the Baal Shem Tov, the founder of all Chassidus, was once speaking with Mashiach, and he asked him, Emasai Ka'asima, when will you come? When will the ultimate redemption take place? To which Mashiach answered him, when your teachings burst forth throughout the world. In other words, when the knowledge and the great light, the Or Gadol of the Baal Shem Tov, will be proliferated and readily available in practice all over the world, that is what will prepare the world for Mashiach, and when Mashiach will ultimately come. 2 generations later, when the Baal Tanya was imprisoned by the Tsar's government, after being falsely accused of conspiring to overthrow the Tsar, he had a vision of the Baal Shem Tov while in prison. And he asked him, why have I been imprisoned? What is the real reason? To which the Baal Shem Tov told him there were spiritual forces at work here. The Alter Rebbe had been spreading Hasidic teachings without restraint, and this had aroused negative forces in the spiritual realm to come forward and say the world is not ready for such great revelation. And therefore the Alter Rebbe was imprisoned. The Alter Rebbe asked the Baal Shem Tov, if I'm released, should I change my approach? To which the Baal Shem Tov responded, no. If you are released, it is a sign that your approach has been vindicated, and that you should continue. And so on Yud-Tes Kislev, when the Alter Rebbe was ultimately released from prison, at this time he knew his approach had been endorsed, and he should continue to spread Hasidus without limit. The date is therefore celebrated as the Rosh Hashanah of Hasidus, because on this day, the potential was granted for the teachings of the Baal Shem Tov through the Alter Rebbe and his peers, the other Talmidim of the Magid, to be spread outward again, to continue spreading the light of Hasidus, and to prepare the world for its ultimate purpose, the coming of Mashiach, an ultimate redemption and the revelation of God in this world. Today is also the day that's considered to be the day a Chassid gets his bris, meaning a spiritual bris. It's brought down that only at the time of bris does a person's neshama, a person's soul, begin to enter and bind to his body, to his guf. Until that point, the soul remains in the upper realms, or attached to the upper realms, basking in the light of the Shekhinah. At the bris is when it descends to this world and becomes one with the body, and it now can begin to fulfill and actualize its purpose of preparing the world to be a dira b'tachtonim, where Hashem can be revealed. You can understand now why this day can be called the day a chassid gets his bris. It's the day when Chassidus was given the approval to descend into this world from the upper realms and begin to spread and permeate the world with greater revelation than before. Just like the soul descends into the body, into the world by the bris, to come and start its work of preparing for the ultimate purpose, so too the wellsprings of Chassidus, which previously had remained hidden and restrained, were unleashed to spread forth and prepare the world for its ultimate purpose, as promised by Mashiach himself to the Baal Shem Tov. As many of you know, Moshe Eliezer is named after my beloved grandfather. What more fitting a day could there be for the bris of little Moshe Eliezer Fuchs? My grandfather was a true chassid through and through. I have unending hakaras hatov for the man who ensured that I had a Yiddish upbringing and education, and showed me what it meant to have a Jewish Hasidic home, and took me to put on tefillin with his own beloved Rebbe, and had immeasurable influence on the person I am today. He even chose for my own bris this fine Hasidic moil 32 years ago, which told me it was the right choice for my son today. But aside from everything he did for me, he had the true heart of a chassid b'li gvulim, and gave more to Klal Yisrael and the supporting and the spreading of Chassidus around the world than we could ever count. The Lekashay Futsumayim Nasecha Chutza was among his top priorities, and he accomplished a lot in this. Little Moshe Eliezer will be able to go to Chassidish Moistus and base medrashes around the world and find his name on shuls, on entrances, on walls, on Sefer Torahs, on Sfarim, and more. He will know exactly where he came from. My grandfather, while not an extremely wealthy man, strived to give more than he had, lamala min hateva, without doubts. And as Yidden, that's what it's got to be all about, to approach our own avodas Hashem, whatever it may be, with a realization that it need not be bound by limitation, with the understanding that if we have a goal and a proper intention and bitachon in the Eibishter, boundaries do not exist, and we'll surely be able to do our part in bringing about the purpose of the world, and be zeichet to celebrate many more simchas until the ultimate simcha, the Geula Shlema B'Hira B'Yameinu Mamish.